guys, welcome back to
Netflix Club.
Hi, I'm here, Jet, and this is
Hannah.
And we're about to talk to you about
Powerpuff Girls episode 8. Was it 8?
I believe so.
It was, oh my gosh, what's the name of the first episode? I keep forgetting.
Haste Makes Waste.
Haste Makes Waste and Ice Sore.
Let's get started.
Oh gosh, we have to do it over again. We had recorded this previously, and stupid YouTube decides to not take that one. Anyways. Oh my gosh.
Haste Makes Waste is about a kid named Elmer who eats paste and gets bullied, gets turned into a giant paste monster, gets his vengeance, and for some reason becomes evil and attacks the town. But in the end, after he is apologized to by a character who is not named, the situation settles itself out, and he uses his paste powers in order to rebuild the city. What did you think about Haste Makes Waste?
That was pretty accurate. I do think it's funny how his name is Elmer and he eats glue, but I think they did that like on purpose. I mean, well, obviously they did it on purpose because that's what they decided on. But I mean, that's funny. And then the fact that, like, I don't know, he is bullied, and then like the teacher thing, that's funny. Like when she dismisses everybody to recess and she tells him not to eat the glue because others would copy him. That's not the reason I would give for not eating glue. That's gross. I'd be like, you don't do that. That's gross. You don't eat glue. And then he goes outside with the other kids and he eats more glue. Did you see him open that jar?
Well, she didn't give a good reason.
Well, she didn't. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. But I mean, well, I don't know. I guess he wasn't really listening to her. He was just like sad and.
No, I feel like he was listening.
You think he was?
Yeah, because she's like, don't eat glue because the other kids might copy you, and you don't want like everybody eating glue. And then all the kids are like, nah, man, we won't eat glue. So if I was a little kid and I was like, yeah, that makes sense, teacher, and then everybody else was like, nah, man, you're good. We're not gonna copy you. Then he's like, then I guess there's nothing wrong with me eating the glue then.
Well, yeah, okay, I guess that does make sense, but still, I don't know why. Anyways, he goes outside and he eats the glue, and then this infected toxic waste bug comes and falls into his glue that he's eating, okay, and I don't know, if I was eating glue and a bug, like, I feel like I'd feel it, or I don't know, it's like he wasn't looking, he just shoves it in his mouth, and then he gets all evil and whatnot, and...
You wouldn't feel it. And the only reason why I think that is because your hands are like covered in glue already, and then you scoop in, like he scoops under the bug, so your hand just feels like it's full of goo. I mean, glue. Yeah.
That's gross, but it was, and then in the end, like, the character, who shall not be named, when she, I guess I could say that, I mean there's a bunch of characters, when she, apologizes, she just can't do it. Like, she has to do it to save other people, and she's like, she can't say it because it pains her, I guess.
And the moral of that one was to apologize if you did something wrong. And don't eat glue.
Don't eat glue. The second one was Ice Sore. And it was good. Like I said, it starts off, people look like they're suffocating or dying. They're red, pink, sweaty, and not Bubbles, Blossom discovers, oh, spoiler alert. Blossom discovers that she has a ice power breath thing. She can freeze things when she breathes on them. So, they make their house, and it looked like an ice skating rink. Isn't that what it was? She makes their house into an ice skating rink, and then she freezes the professor, and the professor, the other girls are sad because they don't have that power. Well, the professor tells them, well, like everybody, you have your own special ability. And then he was like, Bubbles can speak Spanish, and I was like, I didn't know speaking Spanish was a special ability, but apparently it is in the Powerpuff Girls. So then they go out to the town, and they go back to school. So I guess they go back to school, and then the teacher is like, y'all go outside, someone's coming to fix the air conditioner. And then they have a plumber to come fix the air conditioner. Like, not even he was on the ground. Did you see that? Where the air conditioner's like right here and he's like right down here? He wasn't even fixing the air conditioner. But anyways, the point of that part was, one of their friends almost dies, and her sisters are like, Blossom, use your ice power. And she's like, well, Professor only told me to use it when it's needed. And she's dying. So I guess, I don't know, it was a good episode. She just, like you said, she kind of does seem kind of dumb. Like she doesn't, like she doesn't know when to use the ice power, because, I don't know, she, on the way to the town to save, it was a summer robbery, right? Yeah. On the way to town to stop a robbery, she blows ice breath all the way there, which is a waste of breath. And then she freezes the robbery car and everything in town around them. So those people get away, and her sister's like, why did you do that? And then the mayor notices a giant fireball heading towards them, and the sisters are like, you should stop that. And she's like, no. That was a good episode.
I feel like the episode titles are getting more clever. There are a lot of in-scene jokes where if you're not paying attention, you won't see what the joke is. They're building more on what Townsville is made up of, like Pokey Oaks is a small subdivision, and then you're kind of getting a better view of what Townsville is like. The narrator has a weird existence in which he can be directly talked to and even looked at.
I know, he really does. I kind of like that, but then again I kind of don't, because you're watching it like it's a TV show, like when you sit down and watch something, but then when you see them talking to the like they'll, wait a minute, and they'll look and they'll talk to him, and then he'll just respond, and even though you can never see him, you know who it is, but I don't know, I think it's unique. I mean, I don't know any other shows that do that.
Whoa, that actually is really interesting, the you know who it is part. I'm going to stop it real quick and then start it back. Yeah. So you guys stay tuned for
more content.
Welcome back to
Netflix Club.
So who do you think the narrator is?
Person-wise, like voice? Oh, I have no idea. I like how, I wonder who it is. I bet you he could be a talk show host. Do you know who, like, the actual narrator is?
Oh, not like real life, like in the show. Who do you think the narrator is?
The professor.
It definitely does sound like his voice.
It does. It sounds like.
I've seen a guy in town, like in Townsville, with that voice in an earlier episode.
Really?
And for some reason, I feel like it's him.
Maybe.
It's weird to think that the professor is like the omnipresent narrator.
Well, because he's not on camera a lot. Like it's mainly the girls or the people or the villains that are on the camera. So it could be him because, and when like he's talking to them, the narrator's not talking, and the narrator really only talks when like something's happening, like when the phone rings or the beginning. They're like, oh, the Powerpuff Girls are doing this. Oh, the city, and. Yeah, it could be him. Or that guy that you're talking about. What episode, do you remember?
I feel like it was like pretty early on, and it's like he's talking on the phone or something. It's really weird. The only way that we can like disprove it was the professor is if there's a point where the professor either talks to the narrator or the professor talks but the narrator's talking and it's not the same voice or something weird like that.
We'll have to look out for that in the future episodes. I've never thought about that though. That could be him. I know. I watched the show when I was little. It was my favorite TV show. I used to have the bedspreads and the curtains when I was younger. I love the show so much, but I never thought about that. But then again, I guess when I was really young, I just watched it. But I really liked the show.
Do the Powerpuff Girls have infinite powers, but they're limited? Is one of the questions that I have. They've never been shown to run out of flying or anything like that, but in the episode Eyesore, which is a play on words for eyesore, Blossom, when she uses like her freeze breath at the end of the episode, she's like, oh no, I'm out.
I think
I
why
ran
that
out of
happens
it.
because it's freezing now, so it turns into the hot breath. Because remember she blew the fire? That's what I think. She ran out of the cold because it's so cold around her. Maybe. because it was really hot when she first figured it out, and then she had ice breath, and then she figured out she had the hot breath when it was. That's what I thought, because it just because then after it's freezing, you don't need ice. You want to stay warm instead of. That's what I thought.
I mean, it's interesting to think about it like that. But do her other powers work like that? Like, what if you were on the moon and there's less gravity? Does her flight power change into something else? Or like Bubbles speaks Spanish when she's in America. So
when she goes to Spain, does she speak French?
Yeah, like what does it change? That's what I don't know. Yeah.
That's a good question. Oh, I can't even get my shoe on. Oh my gosh. I don't know. That would be cool to know. I bet you they don't run out of flying, because they have that like streak of their color behind them when they fly, you can just tell. But that is something to think about. We got a lot of things we got to think about. The narrator's voice,
Oh, and Buttercup's special power. Yeah, we know that Blossom has like different types of breath, and then Bubbles speaks Spanish, so they seem to all be mouth related. But what does Buttercup do that the other two girls can't?
I'm sure we'll figure it out before, or they may. If we don't figure it out by the end of the show, then we could say Powerpuff Girls leaves this conflict unresolved by not showing. That would be for real, though. I mean, I talk about that because my English class, all I do is write papers, and I learned to explain things through that class, really, going into depth.
So yeah, what do you guys think? Post in the comment section below, and make sure to stay tuned for
more content. We have our last meeting this semester next week, actually, right? It's crazy. Or, yeah, right?
I don't know.
Well, finals are the 9th, and so after the tutoring blitz, I won't be back here till the 9th. Because, I don't live on campus, but if you go here, I suggest you do.
So yeah, thank you guys again for watching, and stay tuned for
more content.
It's called
Oh,
yeah, there you go.
I'm sorry.